Probably got 300 viewers, it looks like, already. It's a very strong showing, and I think people are used to seeing this show every week now. So they're knowing to tune in straight from the get-go, and that's exactly how you want to approach it, because the action is going to be fast and furious. Well, some very cool So go on.
I think, and also that it plays in today, like the fact that we're now at a stage of the tournament where all of the games are like fantastic. Like every single one of them is a fantastic one. So, oh wow, okay. So I don't know if they put the delay on here. They are actually, looks like they're ready to go.
Talk so much, it's ready to go.
it's entirely possible we just talk too much, but I think we're ready to go. You ready to go, Ian?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
All right, let's do it.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the exciting propaganda cast with me, your host, Imperial Dane. This morning from the south, you've got the glorious HelpingHans playing as the Brits. He's up against Zarok, who's playing as the Wehrmacht, the glorious Wehrmacht. This is the light, mechanized Northern Regiment Hermann Göring.
I'm sorry.
I thought you'd have more than that, eh?
I didn't have the little notepad document open with all the on. I ad-libbed it, but I'm very excited to be here today. This is GCS. I'm with my good friend Dan, also known as Stormless, and we're raring and ready to go, aren't we, my friend?
We certainly are. Yeah, we have two very, very good players here. We know them heavily from Auto Match. HelpingHans, of course, one of the, well, in fact, the most popular streamer in Company of Heroes 2. Got a very, very good stream. Everybody knows who he is. Everyone loves watching him play. In fact, a lot of the meta for this game, a lot of the strategies are kind of built around this stream. So it's a pleasure actually casting it from this perspective. And he's going to be playing up against Zarok, who is a prolifically MG-based player. He is the master of the lockdown and very, very feared in that respect.
He is, but he's got a lot to prove. HelpingHans has everything to lose, and Zarok has nothing to lose. Nobody expects him to win today. But that doesn't mean he's not going to. That means he's been practicing a hell of a lot. He's been practicing with revered, known tournament professionals such as Bart and PL. He's got a lot up his sleeve, and he wants to really put a good showing in here. He's been obviously playing as a theoretical auto match-based player, doing a lot of Maxim spamming to prove a point. But here he is in a tournament second round, a big tournament second round against HelpingHans. So I'm very eager to see how Zarok plays.
Yeah, and an interesting one. Straight away at the start of the game, Hans is gone for a triple Tommy build, and he's actually pushing up the left side of the map, probably because he expects the Austere to come in and push that strategic decap down through the center. A, do you mind if I pause just for 1 second? I think I just want to turn the volume down of the game, if that's all right.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely fine.
If you are happy for me to
So at this point in time, Zarok's gone for a very strong push into the south. And this is why we've got 384 viewers already. People know not to miss a second of Co2 action when it comes to GCS. This is not auto match. This is a tournament, a high stakes tournament, the biggest tournament this year. So anything can happen in these early game moments. Zarok has gone heavy for the south, and Hans has taken a sneaky Tommy up north.
Yeah, he's getting a really good position there. Also popping the green cover sandbag, so he's going to get increased rate of fire for anything that's coming around the back there. And Zarok, I think Zarok's done the right thing here, because he wanted to go straight for that strategic decap, a bit like we saw Aimstrong do last week when he took down Jezelin so proficiently. But this time it hasn't worked, because Hans, maybe Hans has already clocked what had happened last week. Maybe he clocks the strategy, and he's just prepared for it. He's taken the left side, which is still being decapped by Zarok, but he seems to be in a much better early game position.
Look at Zarok's MG. It's gone all the way south, southwest there, taking that. So nobody has any territories right now. And this is what I mean by Zarok. He's a dangerous man. He has nothing to lose. He's an ugly man in a bar fight. There's no damage you can do to his face, quite frankly, because he has a lot of pride, but not as much pride as HelpingHans. HelpingHans, it could get put under pressure here, and that's what you want to watch out for.
Yeah, game ones as well are always probably the most brutal ones of the series, because really there's no total damage that can happen here. Like, this is an opportunity for Zarok to really just test Hans, like test how he's doing today, test, if he can steal the first game and put a little bit of pressure on Hans, then fantastic. But I mean, I think he just gets to see, how far he can shove in all of these engagements and kind of like what the weaknesses are.
He's got that suppression on that Tommy on the left, right on the side of the cone. The sniper's starting to open up. The Grens are in the house. So that was really ballsy from Zarok. That MG was in a precarious position. Tommy got pushed just onto the side of the cone and then got suppressed, which is a really strong move for Zarok. Now he's getting connected. He could actually find himself with map control here.
I'd say he's done very well on this. I mean, we only see the one MG at the moment as well. He's doing a lot of capping with the Grens. He's got a very, very low model Grenadier squad in that building. Should be able to get away, but Hans going to pop inside the building. Can he get the last shot off in the negative cover? Very, very lucky escape there. Nearly got blocked by his own Grenadiers as well.
There you go. Hans having trouble getting out of his territories at the moment, but he is Brits, which takes a while to build, and he's also invested in platoon command post and then a sniper, the 55 cal sniper. So it's going to be a little bit of a few minutes window for Zarok to push the initiative, and then HelpingHans will be looking to bounce back.
And this is a very, very early sniper from Hans as well. And I actually think that the decision to go for these 4 Grenadiers has been very, very good against this. But it is going to eat into his manpower if Hans can just control that sniper and keep using it, pushing the Tommies up. Like, the sniper will do a lot of manpower damage. I guess he's just trying to prevent Zarok from getting into the tier 2 side of the game.
Yeah, I say with 4 Grens though, I know it's a big sniper target, but if you're to get G43s on all of those Grenadiers, you can really push the initiative against the sniper quite a lot. So looking at Zarok's possible choices, Lightning War, Mechanized Assault, and Elite Troops, he has 2 foundations for G43s in this game, so he could cause the sniper issues in the mid-game.
I'm really wondering here. I mean, like, both players have, like, barely any fuel income right now, and I think Zarok's actually suffering more because he hasn't connected any of the strategic points together, so he's actually linking together now to get fuel on the right-hand side. And I think that looks like Battle Phase 1. Yes, Battle Phase 1 is going up for him. But I think he'll have a good point. I think he should go maybe Scout Car here, because he's going to have loads of effective time against the sniper, really, before
that's
that
not
AEC
trendy at the moment. Tier 2 is not trendy right now. A lot of players have seen DevM and Aimstrong's strategies of Gren spam, quite frankly, which obviously isn't a new thing to go to, but it is now a trendy thing. So maybe he won't be going to Scout Car. Maybe he will be trying to push the initiative with the upgrades on the Grenadiers, and then perhaps going straight to Tier 3. He's got 2 options. Let's see what he goes for.
Yeah, it is an interesting one. I mean, I still do think that in these situations where you do find that you could get some kind of advantage, it's still worth making those plays, even if you do have to break the meta a little bit. But, I mean, it's been a great early game for him, like, to deny the Brits this kind of fuel straight away. Like, the capping's been very good. It looks like he's got double fuel at the moment. So, you know, it's...
Yeah, he's got good fuel economy. He's... just invested in more manpower there. What's he going for? Let's have a look at Zarok's arm. What's he fancying? Oh, he has gone for the like mechanized. He's gone for tier 2. So there you go. Safe option there. Nothing too aggressive. Not leaving anything gaping in his army composition for Hans to exploit. So he's going pretty standard as Zarok, and he's played extremely well, Dan, so far.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. I mean, Hans hasn't lost anything so far. He's already gone for the 5-man squad upgrade on the British infantry, so his squads are now very, very good against the 4-man Grenadiers. And it's a really good decision, actually, because when someone goes for the 4 Grenadiers, it's really helpful having those 5-man squads on the field. Sniper's going to be really good at dealing with the support weapons, kind of removing the need to bring in the mortar or the indirect fire for the moment. So I think he's got this covered very, very well. I think his composition is very, very good against Zarok's.
How's he going to cope against this flame half-track, though, that's going to be coming out very shortly? He's not quite got the munitions as of yet, so we'll be using it as a reinforcement platform. But when he gets that thing firing against 5-man squads, it could really do some damage.
Yeah, that's a heavy one. I mean, we need to probably just have a quick check of Hans' tech at the moment. Let's just have a look over there. If he does have AC unlocked, he doesn't, so he still will have to spend fuel and then fuel again to actually get that unit out in the field. Seems like a very, very good opportunity for the Flame Half-Track to come on, but he's not got the resources to upgrade that at the moment.
But just the fear of it. I mean, right now that's psychological. He hasn't even spent the munitions on it, so it's not... Look, he's actually, at the moment, getting the G43s we talked about. Got to watch for this mine, though, Dan, with the Grens there. Got to be careful.
I think interesting point there. Bringing out that half-track actually instantly made Hans pick the Special Weapons Regiment, which I know is something that he really enjoys playing at the moment anyway, because of its tier counters. But I mean, it makes you realise, really, you can bait players into commander choices. He doesn't actually have to do anything with that Flame Half-Track if he wants now. He could just literally use it to get the pick that he wants. There goes the Grenadiers by that mine again. They're so close to it, and don't trip it.
Oh, look. Not Premonition gets him away. But as I say, it's 200 manpower, 30 fuel for a half-track, and it's just pushed Hans off the left side of the map and into a commander choice and a unit choice, the Tank Hunters. That might actually be a little bit worthless because he's not actually upgrading it to the Flamer, so interesting choices.
I think at the moment it looks like he is just going to play the infantry half-track as a reinforcement unit, which I think is a very, very good idea with foregrounds. I think if he can put some kind of support weapon into his play, maybe like a mortar or something, just to clear out any of the green cover positions taken by the Brits, then actually he can just constantly reinforce, but it's a huge manpower drain. I mean, if you continually try to engage Brits in cover positions and you're just reinforcing constantly, you know, without those support weapons there, you know, it can be problematic. You can waste a hell of a lot of manpower, and Hans will take advantage of that.
Right now, the sniper's still continuing to open up. It's got 9 kills, pretty good. You have to now differentiate those sounds with the sounds of the Tank Hunters infantry section, which does have the same sound profile and weapon in, but it isn't a one-shot kill, of course, obviously. Just a bit annoying. We have actually got Zarok going for the ballsy option down. He's going for a counter sniper. I'm very intrigued to see how he plays with that.
It's a very good choice, actually. This is a great map for it as well. So many cover positions for that sniper to camouflage in. And, you know, I think there's definitely that good potential there. Hans probably won't be expecting that. I think he'll be expecting that to come out right now. But let's have a look. The half-track from the special weapons order. I don't know what the number is for this, actually. The M3 half-track on the field. And I wonder if we're going to see Vickers dropped. Because this is a great half-track for that. I don't know if he's been using it, actually. Yes. But he's dropping something right now.
There you go. It's the Vickers.
So
Hans is doing this because it's actually better fuel economy to go for this. Well, obviously better fuel economy rather than going for the options from the base tree of the Brits. And he's worked that out, and he's discussed that with me before, that it actually works out better fuel economy. So that's why he's gone for that.
This is a great unit because he's obviously able to reinforce and drop those weapons on the field without retreating. So field presence, field dominance.
Counter sniper. He's going to be, sorry, not in position yet, but he's getting into position down. He's going to be waiting. He's got it ready. You're going to have to keep an eye on that Brit sniper who's going all the way around the left side of the map for some reason. Not too sure on that one.
Well, that's a great rifle made there. Doesn't quite get the full value off of that. Hans is just trying to poke everywhere at the moment. He's got a huge manpower army on the field. It's a great response to the 4 build, really, because he's just got so many infantry to battle against it. And, you know, just due to the kind of staying power of Brits, he's just building up manpower very, very well. It's great economy control in this game from him. And it's almost working against Zarok because he's just constantly having to reinforce it and waste that. So, yeah, this is a really nice build from Hans there. And he's going to get very equipped very quickly. 80 guns coming on the field now just in case Zarok does bring out anything else from his tier 2 or techs up into anything nasty.
I think Hans may have spotted Zarok's sniper or something because he's been ever so passive with it. It's actually really a wise play, though, to keep it at the exact peripheries of its maximum range, spot for it and get the shots at its max range, and therefore keep it safe. It's really, really veteran kind of skills there.
I really struggle that, you know, we're this far into the game, 12 minutes in at the moment, we don't see healing from Zarok. I mean, he could be using the medical supplies.
Right in the east.
Yeah, I'm watching that right
possibly
now.
Dying. Oh, brutally assassinated by that Tommy squad.
Yeah, does not want to be losing squads like that right now. He's already on the back foot in terms of what is on the field. But again, I hope maybe he's using the med packs, but it's very, very odd if he is with the munitions he's got.
And a Pio possibly going down as well. 2 squad wipes in quick succession for HelpingHans. All of a sudden, HelpingHans, the veteran, is making Zarok look a little bit like a novice, even though he's played extremely well so far.
Yeah, he's doing a good job. Looks like Zarok's sniper possibly did get the kill, which is good for him, actually. He's going to need that unit. He's going to need to put the bleed back onto the British here. It's going to be very, very important for him to keep building that up now because he is on the back foot. Decided to put a mortar into his build, but we still don't see AT at the moment, which is a really good opportunity for Hans. 230 fuel stacked up at the moment, and he could very, very easily bring out something like the Cromwell.
Everybody in chat that's lamenting the fact we missed the counter snipe. The reason we did is because Zarok also missed his Grenadier going down at the exact same time, which explains why he was not microing that Grenadier. He was working on the counter snipe, and he did manage to get it. So a tale of two sides of the battlefield there. He sacrificed microing the Grenadier to get the counter snipe.
Oh my god, look at this. We've got the MG here just trying to get on the main gun constantly. Vickers are just tearing through the gunner, and Zarok hasn't retreated it because it looks like he's continually reinforcing it from the half track and not getting anywhere with it against the Brits in cover. Hans is pushing up M3AT gun through the middle. Tommy's coming up towards the mortar, trying to get that strategic decap again that will put huge pressure on Zarok for this game. Sniper's trying to open up with some shots as well, but just have a look at the moment at resource income, manpower on the field at the moment. It's looking very, very good for Hans at the moment.
Hans has played a little bit more efficiently. Having the active sniper has allowed him to do that, but now having this M3 half-track doing the damage and laying down superior weaponry is really allowing him to push up into the battlefield. So it's now pushing Zarok back into the Kessel, and he's going to be working on trying to get that strategic decap as soon as possible.
Like, one of the really interesting things is Zarok really needs to play these engagements like a lot more carefully than Hans does at the moment, because every time that he needs to go back to base and reinforce, like his manpower it's so low. It really, really is so low at the moment. Whereas Hans can make these, you know, slightly more aggressive pushes because he can just go back and reinforce. He can reinforce at the half track. He's got really so little to worry about on that front.
Just to exemplify everything we've said so far, the KD right now is 2-1. HelpingHans 64 to Zarok 32 kills. There you go. Brendan's firing through this Grenadier. It's got to be a little bit careful. Zarok's backpedaling away. He is still in this game. He hasn't lost too many victory points. He's not out yet, and when the tanks come out, if he can survive to the mid-game and possibly to the late game, all of this will be forgotten about. All of the inefficiencies with regard to infantry combat, if he can play better with the vehicles, if he can survive that long.
I mean, he still stands a chance of being okay. He's got the VP, so the drain hasn't been huge. Like, any manpower he does get, he can just put back into this heavy tier 1, tier 2 play that he's got. I still think he really needs to get that AT gun out on the field, because it would have been so easy for Hans to rock him with a Cromwell right now. And I still don't know if we've seen yet. Hans has got the tech up, so I'd be interested if he's going to bring something out straight away, or whether he's going to tech up Hammer or Anvil. But Zarok is likely to go straight for Tiger here, because he's already at 10 CP, he's coming up 195 fuel, so he's not that far off at the moment. That'll probably be the thing that he goes for. And if Hans does go into Cromwell, I think, you know, maybe the Tiger will stand a good chance to bring Zarok back in a little bit.
One of the brutal facets of course experience is 25% of damage received accounts for experience. So Zarok's actually ahead in the CP war right now, and is possibly going to be able to get that Panzerkampfwagen 6 on the battlefield. Oh god, look at the brutality from the Brens, the Tommies, the boys' anti-tank rifles, the M3. It's all coming down on him right now from multiple angles, and he's going to be able to steal this stolen MG42 very shortly.
I really don't know how he's aiming to play this game without without healing. I just don't understand really why he thinks his Grenadiers are going to perform well against the Brits without that. You know, he hasn't been healing up very, very much. It looks like maybe he's using the medical kits, but it's so inefficient.
Yeah, it is inefficient. It doesn't heal as well as the bunker.
Well, it's just healing multiple units. There's such a drain on his munitions income when this whole doctrine is really relying on him to have those G43s. You know, it would have really helped him to run into those engagements and deal good damage at close range, but he just doesn't have that at all.
Ooh, that 3 Grenadier in peril, negative cover, just about escapes. There you go. By the way, everything's been accounting for relief infantry there. He probably needs a few more. No, he's got his recruitment. Oh, he loses the sniper. Was that?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
How did it die?
It just died to the Tommies, I think.
Oh.
So, yeah, I mean, Zarok's looking a little bit flustered here, and of course, as we spoke about before, game 1 is one of those things where you really just kind of like fling everything that you have. It's looking to be a fast game. I think that was probably expected, but
what was it's all right.
No, what was interesting though was you know, seeing this mass Grenadier build. You know, seeing it again, because obviously we've seen it played by Hingstrong, we've seen kind of what it counters and how it works, but it didn't really work against the Brits here. I know Hans played it very well, but this whole reinforcement thing just didn't seem like it panned out well for him.
To be honest, I think he's employing a Stormler's favourite strategy. Regardless of how many units you've lost, regardless of lack of map control, stall for Tiger at all costs. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. He's stalling for the Tiger to try and get that thing on the battlefield.
You know me so well.
And let's see how it goes from there. Look at this blobbing from Zarok. Look at it. It's a line of infantry. It's almost like a Napoleonic battlefield right now. Get your muskets ready, boys.
Honestly, I feel like this is probably something he does need to be doing. He is about to come up to the Tiger. He's still got 10 fuel to go. He's going to reconnect everything that he's got. Look at that mass suppression, though, from the MG. It is now the crew, but if he stays there for too long, all the units are bunched up as well. Does not want to take a big shot from the Cromwell. Half-track goes down to the Tommy's anti-tank rifles. And falling apart all over the place, eh?
Yeah, who would have thought a World War I walk very slowly towards the MG tactic wouldn't work?
Well,
very, very brutal from Zarok upon his the soldiers in his charge there.
Come on, boys, keep walking.
only hurt a little.
Won't hurt when you're dead.
I really just. Yeah, it's a funny strategy. I think if you are going to go 4 grands, you'd go for the bunker, wouldn't you? You'd go for the medical, bunker, because otherwise you're just spending way too many munitions that you could be using for other things in this doctrine.
Oh, big time.
So it seems like an odd choice. Hans has found a huge advantage in this situation. He's just starting to cap the left-hand side now, where he'll secure the triple cap and put huge pressure if Zarok is going to wait for that Tiger. But
there is an Ostrooper on the field, Dan, on the west side there. He's not all in his base right now. He's got a lone Ostrooper on the battlefield. Everything else is saving for that 640 manpower to get the Tiger on the field.
The fate of the Reich firmly rests on the shoulders of these Ostrooper.
Go Ostrooper, you can do it.
Well, here's the Tiger, and I think, you know, Zarok's obviously going to wait this out. He wants to drain VPs at least, I'm sure, so let's see what he can do with the Tiger. It's up against the Cromwell. Hans has got loads of fuel, loads of fuel. But actually this Tiger could do very, very well against all the infantry on the field. There's only the anti-tank rifles and an AT gun, so if he supports it well, then I guess it has a good chance to do some serious damage.
If he supports it well.
That is the big if.
Exactly. He's currently not microing anything but the Tiger. Oh, well, he gets a 4-man shot. Not bad.
I mean, those are literally the kind of shots that we need to see routinely now, because if he can keep Hans reinforcing, he's only on 200 manpower stack at the moment, so, you know, he could just keep trying to get this steam rolling. If he plays it very, very well. AT guns being forced to retreat on that side. Tiger just looks like it's having a field day right now. There's mines being planted there. Hopefully he sees it.
8 kills in its first try.
Yeah, you've got minesweepers here. He's playing this right. I think he's doing the right thing with the support. Grenadiers do need to go up and either deal with this MG and then take the AT gun. But of course, HelpingHans rightly putting pressure on with the Cromwell, constantly trying to keep that front line on.
Oh! Brutal shot there from the Cromwell. Cromwell's got just as many kills as the Tiger at the moment, but the Tiger's more than a match for it in terms of tank on tank. I just think Zarok's stalling for time, is he? He's only actually spent 20 victory points of Hans. Try and rebuild his army and try and get everything to full health and then push at 1, but there's quite a few mines waiting for him.
There's that shot from the Tiger again. Got a lot of work to do here.
Hell of a lot of work to do. He's got to suddenly find 2 more gears. Has he got them?
I'm really looking at what Hans is going to do here, because I mean he's got no upgrades for hammer or anvil right now. So his options kind of lie. Is he going to go crocodile? Probably don't think it would be that. I wonder if he'll go something like the Firefly, whether he, you know, would tech up the Comet, but he isn't making those choices right now. In fact, he seems to be spending a lot of his manpower on other things.
Yeah, it's interesting. You would expect if he's not going to get Hammer, obviously, he's getting the Firefly, but at the moment he doesn't need either. I guess. We have got a pack 40 coming up for Zarok, so he can double up on his anti-tank efforts. He's still got his vast swathe of infantry, that's right. 6 mainline infantry units. And mortar at least. So he's in an interesting position. But to be honest, the difference in their armies really is the MGs. Zarok cannot push up and support his Tiger as well as he would like, because he just gets suppressed immediately.
Yeah, it's that really sad thing where he can't just find the range, and I think the Hands have just got so much on the field that he's just able to constantly push every single gap that opens up. Every time Zarok moves a little bit off, Hands is there. Hands is all over Zarok right now, and
oh, just doesn't grenadier vet 3 getting focused. Does not die. Where is Hans' luck in this game? Is Tommy still focusing it? Needs to hit W there, Hans. Oh, he's on negative cover now. He could in turn go down. Company of near escapes.
Once again, I mean, look at what Zarok's giving in terms of value to these MGs. There's 4 squad suppression there, just because, you know, he's just not able to spread these out at the moment. He's got so much on the field. He hasn't really attempted the right. You just see Ostrupen going down at the moment, which Hans will easily be able to deal with the Vickers Tommies.
The enemy is attempting to steal our sector.
God's concentrated fires just coming down on the exit point to Zarok's base. Closing it. Will he get the Grenadier squad?
Ah! Oh, he's still running through it. What a hero. Jesus Christ.
Lightning never strikes the same place twice, eh?
Okay.
Or does
I
it?
might take advice from somebody called Stormless. It doesn't seem right. And in case you have no experience of storms, which it is just the railway artillery, isn't it, this ability?
It is just railway artillery, yeah, that is more effective than its counterpart.
Yeah, it's like, this is how they designed Brits. How about, instead of railway artillery, which is really well balanced because it's only 3 shots, we do a railway artillery with more shots?
I think it costs less as well. No, it's costs the same.
Brits, lol. Still no health bunker for Zarok. 150 manpower, which he does have. He has the munitions as well, so no excuses really.
No, really no excuses on that front. And I think, you know, as I say, it's game 1. Got a lot of games left to learn from this mistake. If he does decide to play Oster again, hopefully we will get to see him go. I mean, just look at it. Every time he walks into an engagement, like, he's going to lose models so quickly. Already 4-man squads versus 5. Like, why do it to yourself? But, yeah, it's a huge upset to this game right now. 80 gun doesn't look like it's quite getting its full value at the moment. And the Tiger's just so boxed in. Hans seemingly has so much there. He's got the boys anti-tank rifles, constantly just there to harass, maybe looking to plant the 18A. The Cromwell's bouncing around the field. You've got an 80 gun chasing up center position. There's really not much that Zarok can do here. Unless he was just to completely reconfigure his army and go heavy on the right-hand side, which, quite frankly, I don't see why he's not doing, because Brits are so set up here, he needs to get them off of that position. So maybe you should look at going over to the right-hand side.
9 mines. That's insanity. No, 10 mines. He's laid 10 mines waiting for Zarok. This is a killing match out there, and there's no chance for Zarok right now when 10 mines are on the field in various locations. Oh my god, I was just there counting them, and I thought I finished, and I kept spotting even more. I know there's 11 mines! There's 11 mines waiting for Zarok. Should he even get out of his base territory? He's so out of this game, it's unreal.
Yeah, we do see the crocodiles on the field now as well. Hans probably will have used the crocodile to spot flares into the base, which he has, yep. So he's going to get a little bit of intel about what Zarok has left, added to the fact that is a very strange thing to have with a call-in. I always think, like, wow, what an amazing call-in. You actually get full intel, like Special Operations Doctrine for OKW with that unit. And he's going to know exactly that he could bring that crocodile straight up the field, straight into Zarok's base, and burn everything.
Well, it is actually historically accurate. The Vanguard Churchill Crocodile did have access to a spy satellite. Obviously a rudimentary spy satellite, did have access to one, so it does make sense. Oh, the Tiger's in peril, Dan. The Tiger's in peril. Cromwell's going down that rear armor, and it's out, and Zarok's out. Does not give Hans the satisfaction of killing the big cat.
Wow, what a first game. Strong performance by Hands, to be honest. Very strong performance by Hands.
Yeah, see, I had that in hand. And it was not a helping hand for Zarok, who didn't have a very fun time, but he did manage to last 28 minutes, 51 seconds. It's a fair dues to him.
I think he was just trying to get that VP count down, to be honest. It's a shame that he didn't actually manage to, because he would have needed to take 2 VPs. He's just so boxed in for the majority of that game.
Yeah.
But that was good. I mean, like, the start of that game, I think Zarok actually played well, because he went straight down the center. You know what I mean? He took everything he needed to do that kind of strategy where you cut off the central strategic point south, and just kind of sit there. But Hans, because Hans is, you know, so good with his game knowledge and so good with those predictions, move left, and it completely negated like everything Zarok did in the early game. So great, you guys can see the match statistics here at the moment. So very strong performance from Hans indeed.
Yeah, it was strong. 480 victory points remaining. Now going to a game 2 where Zarok most likely, let's face it, will play Soviets. He does play Brits from time to time, it must be said, but I do expect him to play Soviets.
Yeah, I think he will. I think it's probably one of his most comfortable factions to play. And that's mainly where we see Zarok as the feared, do you know what I mean? Whenever he wants to snipe someone, whenever he wants to cause some kind of chaos, he's playing Soviets. You know, he didn't play particularly bad with Austere. He's up against someone who is, you know, very formidable.
He's like
in
the unevolved form of Von Ivan, isn't he? It's like Von Ivan is the ultimate version of Zarok, and Zarok is like the 80% version of Von Ivan. He's like Charmeleon, and Von Ivan is Charizard of like of machine gun abusing Soviet mains, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, it's one of those. I know what you mean. You know, I think one of the things, and I'm just looking at what the next game is going to be. If you guys are checking out the battle planner, which is, I hope that's been updated in the background, then you'll see we've got the next game is going to be Soviets versus Austere. And Hans, we recently seen Hans play versus Soviets on stream. I don't know, I think you were watching that game with me. I think you were there at least. Some really interesting strategies that Hans has been playing. I really hope that we get to see one of them. I think we'll know, maybe if we see the commander loadout from Hans, whether he feels that's a viable strategy to bring to the tournament. But there are some very interesting things that to counter to Lend-Lease. That I really respect that he's actually gone out and done these. You know, gone out and found some of these counters. But that commander is in the loadout.
So what commander do you think he's going to use to counter Lend-Lease? Sorry? Is it,
well, yeah, I mean, I'll make a prediction. Like, what I saw him doing during the week was actually a very, very good mix with Mechanized Assault. Okay. And he was actually making very, very good use of the Panzer Grenadier call-in to the half-track. And he worked it very, very well, because eventually, of course, you do, you know, you can go for the flamethrowers on the Pioneers, swap them out with the Panzer Grenadiers, get your double Shreks. You know, there were like loads of options that came out of that, and he played it so well. And the good thing was, like, with the nerfs to the T-70, he can go in with the Panzer Grenadiers and Panzer Shreks and basically take down the T-70. Like, the accuracy is very, very high on those Shreks inside that unit. So he can chase that T-70 down with that unit and just cause chaos. So it's really a case of, like, you know, Stug E's going in, dealing with the Dushkas. The Panzer Grenadiers are very, very solidly able to do that. So I hope we get to see that. It was a brilliant strategy, and it worked very, very well. Question is if Zarok is going to predict it.
Another great point about Helping Hands' predictive micro is with a skill shot unit. For example, famously with rifle nades, he's the master of rifle nade predictive retreat killing. With the Stug E, I think he'd be a beast with that unit if he's gotten used to its Brumbear-esque weapons profile. I think I could foresee Hans causing so much damage with attack grounds. It would be pretty awesome to watch, to be honest, just by watching a lot of him play.
I mean, I think he has nailed it. I think from what I saw the other day, he's wiping a hell of a lot of the Dushka models with that ground attack. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting game, which we are just loading into right now. But hello, everybody, and welcome to Game 2 of today's series, Helping Hands versus Zarok. We've just come out of I think it was a 28-minute game in which Zarok, very, very good start, but struggled to hold against Helping Hands towards the late game.
It was, he struggled towards the late game. HelpingHans had superior efficiency of manpower preservation. Zarok had a great concept with regards to his strategy and build order, just a little tiny bit less well-polished execution. So Hans did rise to the top, but now we have Zarok on his main faction, the ones he's best at playing. So he might actually have what it takes to take a game off HelpingHans here if everything were to go his way. So let's see what happens.
Interestingly enough, he's gone straight into a conscript build. It looks like we might see triple conscripts out on the field at the start. And yeah, he's going to push up the left-hand side of the map. Not too interested in resources at the right. Engineers in the building for sight through the center. Maybe getting a little bit of intel on what Hans has fielded. He will be able to see MG and Grenadiers. So he gets a nice little bit of intel. It's a pretty standard build anyway, so I don't know what he's going to get from that. But locking down fuel left, hopefully he'll cap the right-hand side relatively soon. And Hans' primary objective right now is just to secure the left-hand side, I think. Just to make sure he's got his own territories under his belt, make sure he's got everything in order. Then he can start pushing out aggressively through the center.
Zarok has not shown 2 conscripts at once yet, so HelpingHans does not know that he's gone for a conscript-based build. I'm very, very keen to see how Zarok plays this. He could actually be going for a tier 2 play with this, which would be very interesting to see. It is also very cool to see that he hasn't gone for tier 1 straight off the bat like most players are doing to get the penals out. Not going for a talisman kind of thing yet though, because, well, we'll wait and see. Does he have, when he gets to 240 manpower, will he be going for a 4th conscript? No. No, he won't be going for a 4th conscript, so I was just making a big breath.
Yes, he will.
Oh, he will. He's just a little bit, not as quick as I would have liked him to be. He floated 30 manpower. It's terrible. Terrible, Zarok. You've lost already.
It's a good job you didn't hold your breath, hey?
Hold it 20 seconds, surely. Here we go. They've got Hans pushing, big balls pushing on the west there with 3 units, just brute force attacking this conscript. He uses an Ura to soft retreat out of there in the safety of the other conscripts that'll be watching over him, giving him good lines of sight.
I think he's done well here because Hans put a lot of units over the left-hand side to force that conscript squad away, and Zarok is actually going straight in to decap the strategic point. So looks like he's going to even out the resource game right from the start, and Zarok is going over to cap his on this side. If he can hold it aggressively, he has a good chance. But I just want to point out as well, Hans' building of the tier 1 position here, very, very good, because of course we saw it in the last game. He can retreat now right next to the strategic point if things start to get a little bit hectic. Then he does have the power to have some staying power in that area.
2 things about that. It does actually allow you to escape your base a little bit better away from that negative cover. You've got a natural sight blocker, or a bit of a shot blocker rather, with regards to the infantry company. But obviously the infantry company could get taken down late game by a pack or a mortar maybe, because it's just such an easy target. You can get line of sight on it. So it's a little bit of good and bad there from that positioning.
We have now installed a field hospital at headquarters.
Here there's Zarok actually getting the medical upgrade for his conscripts, so well done Zarok. We're learning from the mistakes of the last game already. He's realized now that fielding a large infantry army is something you should keep healed up, which is good to see actually.
Zarok's got an idle con in base, so he's not hitting the APM he needs at the moment. Really needs to get up there. There he goes. He's just a little tiny bit. You can notice the difference between HelpingHans and Zarok. HelpingHans has no wasted motion, and the time he doesn't waste any of it basically. Like HelpingHans, when he gets to 240 manpower, would get a Gren out immediately. Just little things like that you notice that separates the cream of the crop top elite tournament level players from good auto match level players.
Yeah, he's so brutal with the counter pushes as well. Like as soon as he identifies that a number of units have been removed from engagements, like those Grenadiers just spring into action and they go straight for all those cut-offs, they go straight for the strategic points, and it's fantastic. And of course, like the amount that Hans steals, at this kind of stage of the game, he's stealing connected territories, so his resources are going to be like sky high in comparison to Zarok's.
Yeah, that'll be damn good. I mean, I'm still pleasantly surprised by how well Zarok is doing in terms of that first game. He got to 28 minutes in, and a lot of people would have thought a Jesulan-esque showing from him is what I saw in chat, basically. But I'm proud of him so far, but he's really got to show a little bit higher level of play in this particular game, because Hans is gunning for him right now, and gunning for that combat engineer who bites the dust, possibly turning that into, yes, indeed, an urban assault conscript.
It's a very surprising. I'm very surprised to see him play conscripts on a map like this because, you know, against the grenadiers, like in the cover positions, against the support weapons. I mean, he hasn't really fielded the Dushkas. He could have fielded one by now. One's actually just coming on the field now, but there's just such a lack of indirect fire. You know, there's a lack of the support play, and he just hasn't managed to make the flanks at all. Hasn't really got the damage off from the conscripts to be able to effectively get those flanks off either. And you know, it's a tough position to put yourself in.
Remember, that's a you know, fan of computer-based logic. I mean, as Soviets, the logic is usually, do you have no conscripts? Do you have 240 manpower? Build one conscript. Do you already have a conscript? Do you have 240 manpower? Never build a second conscript. That seems to be how most people play, unless your name is Talisman. Now, I don't think Zarok knows that his name isn't Talisman, so he's not allowed to build the second conscript. In this case, 4 conscripts. I think he's just basically had a bug, like, you know, a logic error. It's just basically gone wrong.
Well, don't call him out too quickly, because he does have the Dushka on the field now, and he is actually managing to push back some of the territories. He did negate fuel on the left-hand side. Now he's going to push back to his own territories here. It looks like he's flanking heavily around with the conscripts that picked up the flamethrower. Going to put some pressure on that MG in the center. Dushka's coming in as well, but it looks like the primary focus is capping the points, getting the strategic caps back in for resources. Second Dushka's on the field. I think this is where Zarok comes into his territory. So, you know, it's building back up okay at the moment.
We're entering the Zarok zone. He's got 2 very quick to suppress machine guns that are very quick to set up as well. They cost 300 manpower each, a little bit more pricey than the 260 manpower Maxim of the former patch. But it's still just as damn good. It's a 6-man squad as well, so very durable. So he's ready to play now, basically, and he's going to be gunning for Helping Hands. Let's see how he does.
I mean, the only thing he's really lost so far is that engineer squad, which, you know, fortunately it's a cheap replacement for him. It hasn't seemingly damaged him too much. We do have a scout car on the field from Hands coming in. It's going to be the option. That may not do particularly well against double Dushka.
Double Dushka. Jesus Christ. What is... You can just be glad you've got historical skins only, because Helping Hands has a Colonel Mustard 222 right now.
I can't see it.
Bright yellow. Bright yellow. It's so disgusting. I might print screen it for chat so they know what I'm on about.
I think he uses the Dawn of War skins. Actually, I think he uses the
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah. Dushka not quite setting up in time there to get some shots off on the retreating grenadiers in center. We do have counter MG from Helping Hands, whilst conscripts look like they're trying to push the scout car. They do have 18 aids upgraded, so if he can get some kind of snag off on there, then he will be able to go in with the Dushkas and try and remove that scout car. There's a nice rifle grenade from Hands, which does miss.
There you go, chat. There's the 222 Colonel Mustard in chat for you there. But this game is actually now springing back into for Zarok. He does have 2 Dushkas out, which actually can surprisingly go toe-to-toe with a 222 if they aren't flanked, especially if they get the Vet 1 ability.
Of course, Hands may have made a tiny little mistake there with the scout car. Conscripts are pushing in. There doesn't look like there's any support at all over there. Second 18 aids coming in, and the conscripts are not showing any signs of slowing down on that area. Dushkas look like they might be moving in just to stop any reinforcements coming in. And we could be seeing the end of the 222 very, very early at this point.
If he can get it, he's going to have to gun for it. He does not, of course... Oh, he does have the anti-tank grenade package. Are we going for it with this conscript? Will he be able to get there?
Oh, yeah, I think he's got it. I think he's got it. Looks like it's going to go down. It's actually abandoned.
Oh, that's brutal.
Hey, if you wanted to know where Hands' luck was in this game, it was right there, because the scout car is not down. He's going to be able to take that back and repair it if the Dushkas can't get on top of it. But look at the comeback here. Look what Zarok's doing to Hands. He's really, really putting the pressure on right now, slowing everything Hands has down. Is he going to go? I think he's trying to attack it. He's 18-aiding the car.
Hey! Oh, will he lose a conscript for that? Hopefully not.
Wow.
Oh, where is Hands looking? Yeah. The conscript's on retreat. This is ridiculous. If anybody disagrees with me, I'm going to go 8. I'm joking. I'm joking, of course. Well, that 222 is now dead. Zarok sprung back out of his base with 2 Dushkas to pretty much getting himself back into this game, Dan. We did not expect this 5 minutes in, did we?
No, we already said this before. Like, this is a faction Zarok seems to be much more comfortable with. He plays it a lot better, so I think he's probably aware of how the counters work for this. But he's actually made the conscript build do relatively well. I think actually being able to have the flamethrower still there has been very, very good. Oh, you still there?
I'm still here, my friend.
Sorry, my screen bugged for a second there. Yeah, I mean, he's actually made the conscript build like work very, very well. Thanks, I guess, to picking up the flamethrower. He's been able to put great flanking pressure on now. Dare I say, they become useful with it.
Is it a conscript build, or is it a Dushka build with 4 meat spamming shields? I know. Technically, obviously, it is a conscript, but it's a Dushka build, and the conscripts are just a meat shield. That's the way I see it. You know, all he cares about is the Dushkas at this point. He's keeping the conscripts alive, which is great. And I suppose that you're right. That flamethrower has made one of the conscripts actually somewhat useful, but it was at the expense of a combat engineer. It's all about the Dushkas, in my opinion. 600 manpower, which has gotten him back into this game.
Yeah, it's one of those things, though. I mean, again, after a great push, and you can't say that it wasn't a great push by any means, but Hans, even though he's just wired himself in with his pioneers, gonna quickly hop that and continue to harass the right-hand side. So, he's putting that pressure on Zarok to just keep moving across the field, and it's one of the places where Hans becomes very, very strong. It's keeping his opponents moving, much faster. Much faster really than he is, and it allows him to do what he's doing on the left-hand side. After that distraction, push in with the grenadiers. He's probably going to be able to take all the territory on the left now, and Zarok is just going to have to be completely focused on the right.
So we got the T-70 in the build for Zarok. This can be one of those units that can really make a difference. It's hitting the field 12 minutes in, albeit a little bit late, and it is up against a Pack 14, of course, 3 Panzerfaust platforms. But if it's played well and it picks on the little guys, acts like a bully, the T-70 can really be a great tool.
Our territory is falling into enemy hands.
Yeah, I think obviously he just has to be a little bit careful because of the 4 grenadier build. Like, Fausts are going to be absolutely rife. There is an AT gun as well, and he hasn't really checked for mines. I've seen that there is the engineers with the Minesweeper upgrade, but other than that, I don't think he really has checked for mines. He's been a little bit risky with the T-70, actually driving over a lot of common telemine spots with it. How many times have we seen telemines take down T-70s in that exact spot on that strategic point? But Zarok doesn't care. He's just going to drive over there and test it out.
Well, exactly. Testing it out. Didn't think of that, did you? Zarok's a genius.
No, I did not.
Dushka's been found out with its pants down. MG42 and the G43s are pushing that thing away. The second Dushka comes into position in the exact same position. A moves and also is about to get suppressed. There you go.
We do actually have one telemine that's planted down on right side strategic point, so we could be seeing some kind of value with that. Zarok's doing some great positioning work with the T-70 here because he's trying to get it outside of the arc of fire of the AT gun. Hans isn't prepared to fire through the building, so he's actually just trying to maneuver the AT gun around into a position where it works. Engineers here are going to be giving sight out for Zarok. Once he sees that, hopefully he moves the T-70 around a little bit. First shot misses. And that's his cue to get out of the way.
Really good dodging in the Pack 40 with this T-70, causing an absolute nuisance for Hans to deal with. This has allowed Zarok to go out and cap that western fuel point and also protect his eastern fuel, and also nearly cap the central victory point, but then Hans's weight of infantry might was just too much for him.
We're seeing another T-70 in the build right now. It's going to be met up against a Panzer IV in the build from Hans, which is a very interesting choice indeed. Are we seeing the start of a weird teching structure that's going to lose Zarok the game? I have a feeling this could be a talking point if Zarok doesn't make some kind of amazing play here.
What? T-70s, for those that don't know, everybody will know in chat, it's a light tank. It's very, very, very good against infantry and support weapons and light armor. It's not good against a Panzer IV medium battle tank. Hans also has the Pack 40, so now I think unless Zarok has got something up his sleeve that nobody's ever seen in Company Heroes 2 before, it does seem to be a bit of a strategical misnomer.
We'll see. I mean, I'm just wondering how it's going to stack up against the Panzer IV here, because, 80 gun is going to shred this thing. There's telemines on the right-hand side. There's a lot for the T-70 to trip up on right now. And of course, you know, that telemine is a one-shot on the T-70. It seems like a risk, and he clearly hasn't mind-swept that area. Is he actually turning into it now? I don't know.
What's that noise?
It's the noise of I'm worried, but you know, hey, if he's got the micro to harass with these, then fair enough, you know, great. But you know, at the moment he isn't holding those territories, you know, and he would maybe have done better against the support weapons with something that could barrage, like the Su-76.
Yeah. Or even as he does have, of course, tier 2, so he could have actually gotten a Ziskin out, but then he's gone for a third Dushka, so that's 900 manpower spent on Dushkas right now. T-70 possibly going down. This Dushka could, of course, use the armor PC round, but that's not going to really help.
Oh, the telemine! That should have blown up with a rifle nade, surely. I thought he was going to rifle nade the telemine to blow up the squad. For some reason, the telemine did not trigger. Panzer IV, is it going to get the last shot on that T-70? If he tries to go for it, though, conscripts could use the 18 aid, and is there anything to finish it up?
What a miss! Oh no, he got it. There you go, just about. And that pintle mount's done great work at keeping this Dushka from being retaken by Zarok. The pintle mount of the Panzer IV just opened up there with a few short bursts and depleted those squads to the point where they couldn't capture the MG. But we said Zarok was crazy for a 2 T-70 build, Dan. But what we didn't know, he was going to lose one of those 2 T-70s. So it makes sense if you think about it.
Sorry to tell you that it still doesn't make sense to me.
No, it didn't to me either. It was a joke, but...
What does make sense is what's in the build right now, the Su-76, because I thought that would have been a great one to keep popping the MGs and things. Oh, no, I don't think that. I think he would have had enough time to have seen that as well. But one thing I want to talk about, though, because a lot of people are saying, oh, Panzer IV missing and so on. You know, if nobody's watched like Tightropes videos, it describes this incredibly. You know, about the accuracy that occurs when the tank is moving, the kind of like, I can't remember what it is, the accuracy penalty, which is, I think, what, 50% apart from USF that has 25%. But you know, what Hans wasn't doing there specifically was actually just stopping the tank when the tank is about to fire, because that does remove the accuracy penalty. So your tanks can actually be a hell of a lot more accurate if you are prepared to hit the hit the stop button.
The W button, yeah, for people that use obviously the good keys. Yep. So,
you know, there's something that he wasn't doing, but I mean, he doesn't really need to, because against the T-70, he's not got any real threats on him right now, and he's got a lot of other things to micro. But
he's falling into a trap here. The Pack 40's waiting. Panzerfaust could also get it. Pack 40 does indeed miss. Conscript coming into the picture. Attacks again as a meat shield. They are glorious soldiers of the Soviet Union with the intent to die, seemingly.
Hans is, of course, just as you said, absolutely rocking out these rifle grenades at the moment. He's been trying to go for those squad wipes in the retreat time after time. And some of them, though, you know, taking off a lot of models, doing a lot of manpower damage for munitions that he really has loads to spare right now. So he's doing a very, very good job of that.
Hans once made an entire montage video based on rifle nades. He is the master of them. Absolute genius. Here comes the Dushka from the west side. Just having a little poke around, see if it could possibly suppress and cause utmost bad manners upon his opponent. Oh, that's an MG42, my bad.
Zarok's caught himself in a bit of a bad situation there with the Su-76. Fortunately, Panzer IV still repairing in the base. T-70 is going to try and deal with this MG, which should have a good one. The MG is actually clumped up, so the T-70 may be able to do some good splash damage. Panzer IV is now coming back into the center of the field, and Hans is going to take 3 VPs, which means VP drain goes down 1 per second. And Zarok, who's already on the back foot, does not want to be dealing with that.
Oh, the little T-70 that could is currently being the little T-70 that is not longed for this earth. As the Panzer IV lines up a big shot, will it get it? Tight angle, 1 shot required. Oh, I would have thought he'd get an attack round off there, but he didn't quite get the.
No, you could actually see that time he did actually stop the tank for that, but he just didn't have the line of sight. Oh, tree might hurt that mortar on the right hand side there. Fortunately, gets caught up in the barbed wire. That would be interesting, wouldn't it, if the mechanics, the physics in the game could damage the infantry units. I think it would take RNG in this game to a whole new level.
Yeah, like some of the infantry, like one of your Panzer Grenadiers has all his appendix is about to burst.
Well, that was basically what Blizzard was, really, wasn't it? It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
your guys are cold. One of them's going to run off in a second if you don't build them a fire.
Granny has just received a letter from the home. His baby has colic. It looks dangerous. His morale has hit a new low.
We have been through that stage. It's true. Anyway,
I think it's
T70
called
here.
is it Men of War or some game? It's like that, isn't it?
God knows.
Panzer,
T70 there
a
pokes
big-
a little bit too far as it goes in, takes a shot from the AT gun and a Faust, so it's going to be removed from the game just for a temporary period. SU-76 does have a time where it doesn't have barrage available at the moment, but when it is, he does need to be working on getting these support weapons removed from the field so he can go in with the conscripts and make use of those. And Hans poking a little with the Panzer IV from the north. Incredible pressure here at the moment.
Enemy forces are securing our
Well, Hans has just literally made a trap and a hard rock for Zarok to fall upon. Now Zarok does have a crashing wave, though, instead of just a trickle of a stream. He does have the M40 Sherman out. If he can start to build up to critical mass against the newly built Panzer IV that's about to be on the field. 2 Panzer IVs in total, 2 Pak 40s in total. It's going to be a tough ask, but he does have 3 armoured vehicles now, does Zarok.
Oh, this is so risky. Why did he do that? Driving again, another vehicle right into the line of the Pak 40. Then he takes a Faust again from poking too close to the Grenadiers, and it's already on a quarter health. Is Hans going to push him with that AT gun? You know, he could definitely go in for it right now, but Panzer IV may be the one to make the push.
Yeah, it could be. But Hans isn't the type of player to push him necessarily. He has his right now. He has 3 MGs, 2 Paks, a Vet 2 mortar. Soon to be 2 medium tanks. He can honestly just let Zarok fight himself out here.
ready for battle.
Like Scooby-Doo holding Scrappy-Doo by the head as Scrappy tries to take swings at him. HelpingHans will be just standing over his opponents and quite frankly laughing for the rest of this game.
We do see, I mean, like, Zarok absolutely loves to commit to one side, doesn't he? I mean, a lot of other situations we've seen like this, players are actually making those pokes left to right, but I think Hans actually can play this very, very much to his advantage, because every single time he manages to corner Zarok, Zarok will fight that corner. Like, he doesn't want to push left at all. He isn't even teasing left with anything. You know, could be going around with the engineers if he wasn't trying to repair. But this looks like it's it. I think Hans is actually ready to make some kind of big push here.
Conscripts offer their lives for the Radina yet again. Oh, here comes the Panzer IV down the centre, but the M40 Sherman's there to match it. SU-76 in a precarious position as the Pak 40 from max range vanquishes it from this. It's mortal coil.
Hans has really got nothing to lose at this situation. 2 Panzer IVs. He's got great combat against the infantry. With those retreating, he knows he's going to be able to push into the T-70 if he still knows it's there. What a front line, though. What a front line. He's got MG protection on the back. 80 guns just in case any flank does come in. T-70's down, and Zarok is going to throw in game 2. It's 2-0 for Hans right now.
2-0, 23 minutes, 12 seconds. This time, 454 victory points left for Hans, but it's not looking likely that the victory points will come into it right now because Hans is sitting pretty with just one more game required to get himself into quarter-final and a guaranteed £60 of prize money at the very least.
It's a big deal for him. A lot of people have said that they will unsub from his channel if he doesn't 3-0 Zarok. It's,
really?
Yeah. It's, he
Well,
may end up with 5 subs if he if he doesn't do it. It's just check out the overview of that game there. 121-30 was the KD for HelpingHans in that game. A fantastic game, really. You know, I guess that's one of the problems with playing so many conscripts, especially if you're going to play against G43s, because, you know, conscripts don't get those upgrades. So, you know, when the Grenadiers have the G43s, you know, like, they don't have the counter for that. That's why the things like the Dushka and the Maxim exist, to try and help out those engagements. But, you know, Hans played that very, very well. Update
Absolute
that scoreboard.
He's an absolute beast when it comes to doing stuff like that. Hans has always been one of those players capable of insane KDs playing Company of Heroes. Back in when I first started watching his stream back in 2011, he used to challenge himself as Panzer Elite, I believe, to get as high a KD as possible, and he had like a 98-3 game once, and I was just like, wow. And it was against a solid opponent as well, and I was just like, wow. So yeah, he's a master of efficiency with manpower at times. So to 727 viewers watching live today. We've only just seen 2 games. We've got 2 series today, both best of 5s. We've also got Barton versus Korean Army coming up after this series. So the hype is only going to keep growing, and we're going to get better and better games as the day goes on. So very exciting to be here today.
Just heading over to the battle planner quickly, just so we can see what map 3 is going to be. Looks like we're going to be playing on Faymanville Approach, which fantastic map. Honestly, just great map to cast games on. Yeah, I personally would say it's best tournament map here. And we're going to be seeing Hans playing as the Brits again, always a pleasure, up against Zarok's second attempt as Austere. Hopefully this time he can make it work. It looked like he could have made it work, you know, it looked like he could have done it previously, but couple of mistakes there, which hopefully he will tidy up here. But look at those VP wins, like 480 VPs, 454 in games 1 and 2 for Hans. He's a strong winner, you know. He doesn't really let those VPs go down at any point.
He doesn't mess around, and this would, if he is to 3-0 Zarok today, he'll be one of the top 4 seeds, along with Devem, one of the only top 4 seeds to have not lost a game so far. So that he'll be in a really strong position, given that. I mean, Von Ivens lost a game to Burmy. You got Lovenest, of course, lost a game to Baumy. Aimstrong, of course, lost 2 games to the Hooligan. And, of course, Korean Army lost a game to J for Jet. Barton may lose a game to Korean Army. So to get those 3-0s on the go and to have not lost a single game in the tournament so far is a big psychological advantage, in my opinion. It means you feel like you're untouchable. And you haven't tasted the bitter, stinging, lingering taste of defeat quite yet. So, you know.
He can really do whatever he wants in this game. Do you know what I mean? It's like, he's won with allies, he's won with Axis. He's got to be feeling confident on both fronts. So, you know, why not? Why not have a great game where you can just showcase? He could even go for the, what are we calling that prize? The non-meta? The non-meta award. Yeah, it's a good opportunity. Like, if you're in this situation, why not try using some kind of, you know, some kind of different strat here. We do have Zarok and Hans's game available. Do you mind if we take a 2 to 3 minute break and then jump into this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I'll just invite you.
Just to have a quick break or something?
Yeah. Put the kettle on.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, sound.
Whenever we get into these long games, it's very important to have coffee. You left your mug here, by the way. Do you know that? After all that,
yeah, I'm coming down next week, aren't I? So that's an announcement there. We're doing the quarterfinals next weekend. It is on Saturday. You're going to see 2 amazing games on Saturday. That is on Saturday, the day before Sunday. It is not on Sunday. It is on Saturday next weekend. And then we have, of course, got a show on Sunday as well. Got basically all the 4 quarterfinals are going to be a one mega supremo weekend next weekend. So I will be able to get my mug then, Dan, basically.
I'll have sold it by then.
Oh, bastard! You bastard!
Do you want to just get?
I can talk to chat. It's fine.
Oh, okay. If you want, I was going to.
Yeah, I don't mind. Go make some coffee, have a chill. Yeah, it's fine.
For the sake of professionalism, weight screens are.
Go on then. If you let's just go into those sponsors and stuff. Let me get into an observer mode first.
All right.
I don't know why I've bothered with my RAM. I've got a new computer with 16 gigabytes of DDR4. I mean, surely Kotu cannot eat all of them.
I mean, in observer mode, it doesn't really hurt. It's just when you actually play in game. I never really restart the game streaming. So anyway, guys, we're going to go to a wait screen. We're going to make sure that we're in the game so that we don't miss it by any chance. We're going to be a couple of minutes and then we'll jump straight into the game. So don't go anywhere. It's game 3, 2-0 to Helping Hands versus Zarok at the moment. I'll see you very shortly. Hello everybody and welcome back to Game 3 of the series. It is, of course, the one and only HelpingHans playing again as the Brits. This time the map is Faymanville Approach.
And he's up against, thank God, he's the one and only Zarok from the south as Wehrmacht. Just a gentle rib there. Zarok is a trusted and loved member of the community. And he's playing as Wehrmacht. The faction he did quite well as in the first game. 28 minutes, 50 seconds of action against, on paper, a superior opponent. So let's see how he does on Faymanville Approach, a far different map.
Faymanville is, as we already spoke, like one of the favourite maps to play on for players, especially in tournaments. Very balanced map, a very good map for cutoffs. Cutoffs sit right at the base, so it is an effort to go and decap opponents' resources. However, it's high risk, high reward indeed. And the way that the map plays here, left to right, something that players have to be very, very kind of attuned to. And Hans is going to go straight over to his fuel on that side. He's drawn the Pioneers over and he's going to try and take that very decisive house right in the center. Look at that great MG preemptive positioning placement by Zarok there, preventing that from happening. What beautiful play.
Yeah, it's good because you would expect the MG to be near the house. It was not. It was capping. Hans got caught out by it, and the Tommy's now relinquishing its position, running back to base. It's early days, though, yet. These early day engagements aren't as vitally important if the players aren't going to be super aggressive, and I would adventure that Zarok probably is going to try and be slow and steady, and Hans has it in the bag, so he's got enough. He hasn't got to fire up his arse to try and make this happen in 5 minutes.
He does not. This is great MG play from Zarok though. I think this is where Zarok really comes in, is his MG play at the moment. He's getting the suppression off, or trying to get the suppression off on the Tommies there whilst they decap the fuel. Hans jumps into a building to try and overlook the fuel on the right hand side, and Zarok's not prepared to stay in that engagement. Will leave fuel temporarily.
So it's going to be an interesting one. I'm very keen to see how Zarok decides to play this, because we pretty much know how HelpingHans will play his Brits. He is a big fan of course, the Special Weapons Regiment or Mobile Assault Regiment. But it's all about Zarok, in my opinion. He's a bit of an unknown factor with regards to his approach. So I want to see if is it going to be similar to that previous game, or is he going to go for something a little bit different?
It is a tough one to call, and there's a couple of things we really need to see for Zarok this time. He is, by the looks of it, going to go into a 3, maybe 4 Grenadier build again. He's going for those early decaps. He's already managed to prevent fuel on the left-hand side. Now he's going for the strategic decap that's going to deny any resources Hans has on the right. But we do need to see healing from him this time. It was one of the things that we fortunately saw in the second game, didn't in the first. It made a huge difference to this build. Sorry, will make a huge difference to this build.
Okay, Hans is
the sniper.
Hans is poking around. He has got a lot of units currently active. He's currently microing 4 different units. That is the strength of HelpingHans, the only professional gamer that plays Company of Heroes 2. So he plays this game. He's had thousands upon thousands of hours of high-level activity, and you can just see it in evidence there. We had 4 squads moving in different directions at the same time. It's very impressive to see. Taking advantage of the Brits' higher rate of accuracy here, just trying to gun down this Pioneer squad. The Grenadiers probably don't stand a chance. The Royal Engineers rushing up to it, trying to get those Sten guns firing.
I'm actually really surprised at, after what looked like a very, very solid early game for Zarok, he hit like a lot of the big positions to cover straight away, and actually he's lost double fuel to Hans, who's now on a +30 against +13 respectively. So this is very, very bad for Zarok, because I guess part of what we saw in the last game was him actually getting the tier 2 up quickly if he is going for a similar strategy. He's not going to be able to do that here. It's likely that Hans will be able to provide some kind of counter. Maybe it's the AC, maybe it's a faster rush to Cromwell, but either way, losing that double fuel, even for a little bit of time, does stack up in the early game.
It really can do. Interestingly, we haven't seen any deviation from build orders by either player. Both players have literally gone for the same units they did in that game 1. It's all about if Zarok can be a bit sharper here and get that. He did actually come back from a 2-0 down to win his... no, it's the opposite way around. He won the first 2 games and lost the next 2, and then won game 5. So he needs the exact opposite of his first game in the tournament to happen. He needs to lose the first 2, then win the next 2. That is Zarok, what he'll be aiming to do.
You just see that the British sniper there opens up its first shot up against the MG. That's going to be forced to move. Actually, a second model goes down. So Hans already starting to get to work with those snipers. Now he's going to work up on the Grenadiers that are covering this fuel point. He may be able to do some capping whilst that is going on. This is going to cause pressure for Zarok, because I think he actually made significant ground on the left-hand side at the start. Now he's actually going to flex over to the right, hopefully lock that down, and then both of these players can start getting on with the teching game, because it's been all over the place at the start.
Been a very pleasing game to watch aesthetically. So that's why we love Fame and Vil approach. Games seem so frenetic and action-packed. That previous game on Argentan Crossroads did at times seem a little bit like it was a stalemate. We haven't had any such inklings so far. We've had activity all over the battlefield. Sniper now getting its 6th kill.
Enemy threatening a capture point.
Interesting
One
to see
of my
what... Sorry, carry on.
Oh, my point was terrible. I was going to say, I just heard one of my Tommies say, "Brew up, then. Let's get the bickies out."
I'll remember to just take the initiative.
Yes.
But I was going to say, I wonder what Hans' tech is going to be here. I mean, he is actually going for a second engineer squad, which I wonder what he sees the value in. Maybe it's to do with flanking. Maybe it's just to make sure he's got loads of pressure on for the sniper to do a lot of work. Zarok's going to maybe try and cut off the sniper here. trying to look for that sniper across the negative cover. He crosses, and even if he doesn't go for the sniper, we'll be able to decap all the resources through this point here. If you can maybe get that MG up to defend, then it's all about trying to get those decaps for resources, but instead he loses the model.
Oh, dear me. If you hover over those dead bodies there, your cursor goes red with negative cover. And that's 50% received accuracy nerf to their survivability. And it was massively on display there. Zarok did not have the 10 seconds he requires to micro away from engagement he needed.
No, it was a nice idea, but I mean, it was not worth it at all, really, in the end. We do see the half-track coming out. Hans are going to bring out an AT gun, so I don't think we see any sign of the AEC yet. He hasn't actually gone for the upgrade either, so going to be relying on AT from that AT gun up against what potentially may be the Flamer half-track. Mobile Assault Regiment has been chosen by Hans, so we might be able to see some of the commandos pop out later on and cause some chaos for any of those pesky grenadiers that Zarok's fielding in the center of the map.
Pesky grenadiers, of which there's only 15 at full health now, rather than the original 20. So it's going to be an interesting one. He does, of course, have the half-track battle on the field. He's not going again for the... He's just used some munition, so he's not going for the 120 munition upgrade for the Flamer.
No, I do think he likes to use this Flamer as a reinforcement unit. If we see a rifle nade here on the right fuel from Hans, Zarok just... Oh, sorry, actually from Zarok. Hans just sees that and manages to get the retreat off.
Yeah, it was from Zarok to Hans, and Hans did not fall for his own trap, his own signature maneuver, if you will. And will Hans fall for it again? The half-track's acting like a Flamer half-track. Try and push him away. And it's now going to get brutalized by this 6-pounder. Will the boys' anti-tank rifle get another shot? Attack ground misses. Oh, looks like the half-track's going to use the bonus given by the road to escape.
He's very, very, very forward with a lot of his units. Like we saw the T-70s in the last game. They get way too close to units that can actually snare or trigger some kind of engine failure. He really does have to watch out for that, because this is entirely the kind of thing that Hans is quick enough. As soon as a unit enters that kind of radius, you can guarantee Hans is going to have his hand on the hotkey for that. So, it's really essential, especially if he's going to rely on the infantry half-track too. To reinforce all his squads on the field. He doesn't want to have to be rolling that back to base with engine failure.
He does not. Here we go in the west there. You'll see that Royal Engineer has the M2 Flamethrower upgrade, signifying, of course, that we have the Mobile Assault Regiment base-to-base land mattress party initiated, Commander.
Yeah, it's going to be... It's one of those commanders you really don't want to play against on this map, because land mattress range, especially when you've got Brits that can just kind of like push up the center and just land mattress well into your territory. It's a really fearsome unit to see in a game like this. But
going down over here with HelpingHans, right next to that green cover tractor. So it's going to give a nasty surprise to Zarok when he tries to seek refuge behind the industrial agricultural vehicle.
Zarok once again pushing that half-track really far up the map. Hans is running 2 squads at the moment round the back of an MG, and if he spreads out a little bit here, he should be able to avoid any of the suppressive fire. There we go, splits up the engineers and the Tommies, and Zarok just not quick enough to get any of the suppression on.
Oh,
MG squad's in a
look at
pretty
it, cooking this MG.
There's actually a very nice rifle nade from Zarok there to push off the Tommies, but that MG is reinforcing, but it was good as dead if it didn't have that half-track there.
And there you go. It's a good play from both sides there. I must say, with 5-man Royal Engineers with the M2 flamethrowers, that's going to be really difficult for Zarok to deal with. Zarok, by the way, who's just locked in elite troops. Interesting choice. As we see the stun grenade go in.
Yeah, he seemed to like throw that stun grenade instantly, so I wonder if that was something he was doing. Maybe wanted that specifically from the commander there. Both games that we've seen, actually, we haven't really seen any teching from Zarok. A lot of this just seems to be him trying to put as much effort as he can into these first 2 tiers and then relying on the off-map.
So Zarok's doing very well in this particular game. He's currently reinforcing with the half-track in the north there, allowing the Grenadier to cap and get replenished. He's got a good field in the centre with a good contingency of forces, everything he would require except any AT, but there are no vehicles on the field. And then in the south, he's got a Pioneer going out to cap and gets sniped by the boys' anti-tank sniper.
What's he doing with his own sniper at the moment? He's got one to counter-snipe the Brits. So did he lose the...
Yeah, he loses the Pioneer. He lost it.
Oh, jeez.
So in game one, we did see Zarok lose a unit whilst he was getting the counter snipe, but in this game, it's no such effect as the 6-pounder could actually kill the sniper here. If he's he could kill it by accident.
Does he know it's there?
No, he's trying to track around the half track. Funny if he killed the sniper. Could you imagine? It's so funny.
That's exactly what it looked like was happening there. It almost looked like he was ground attacking where the sniper is sitting, because he doesn't know it's there right now. And Hans' sniper is coming through the center, but VPs remain relatively good at this stage. However, just map control, this is a terrible place to get locked down right now. As we already spoke about the land mattress, only looking like 2 CPs away at the moment, and when that does come in, it's going to be very, very devastating to Zarok's forces.
Oh, as we always say with rocket artillery, if you can squish your opponent up into a pocket, you can close that pocket very, very comprehensively with the help of Her Majesty's land mattress.
Her personal mattress.
Yes, her personal mattress. It's stained, it's bloody, and it's going to absolutely destroy you.
Zarok's sniper, of course, was uncloaked there by the retreating engineers, just missing him the opportunity to take down the sniper from Hans. Very, very unfortunate. We are seeing Zarok is again just sticking to tier 2 on the battle phase 1, and he is not going to be taking anything before this Tiger race. And I'm not sure how I feel about this, because, you know, Tiger race 17 CPs, that's a long way away. It gives Hans plenty of time to build up the fuel he's got from this great map control, to to really make some great teching decisions where it's going to be very, very difficult for Zarok just with this 1AT gun to defend against.
We have Hans currently getting the medium armor on the field. He's got that Cromwell about to hit, and Zarok is so far away from getting a Tiger race. I think in his previous game he stalled out for the Tiger. At least he's getting the Pack 40 here on. But I'm in his base down, and I'm not seeing one thing we wanted to see. And it's upsetting, isn't it?
Well, I hadn't actually checked to see, but he's once again not using the medical supplies. Oh, geez. Yeah, it confuses the hell out of me. I mean, I haven't seen him use the medical supply ability that often, but like he's only got one of the G43s. I assume that's probably where all his munitions are going. I just don't get it.
Yeah, it's so eerily similar to that previous game, with just the one G43 upgraded. Right, Pack 40's been found out. The Cromwell's coming into the picture. All the units are retreating. The snipers recoiling, but then the Cromwell's targeted on it instead. Then it reverses out the way of the Pack 40. Great micro by HelpingHans.
Yeah, he's really just playing around this. He knows that the Grenadiers aren't there at the moment, so he's just got a lot of space to play with without doing anything. One Faust isn't going to do anything right now, so Zarok doesn't even look like he's going to pop the Faust, knowing that it's going to be relatively ineffective. Now we see the land mattress has just come on the field, and this is really Hans' chance to close this game early. He could easily get the 3-0. He just sets that land mattress to fire deep into the heart of Zarok's base. Could be looking at GG coming up if this is a good strike.
Could be. Hans already has gone for a big push, but then he, just at the right moment, recoiled from his ultra-aggressive nature there. So he's got the triple cap, though, and he's done the damage. He's pushed Zarok straight back into his base and ready for the land mattress.
Yep, there it goes. Oh, Zarok's trying to retreat. Actually loses a couple of models to it initially. Everything's on the retreat right now. Zarok does not want to take any chances. We're watching the sniper very carefully just to see if any of those rockets do connect. None do, and this is going to allow the Cromwell to chase down the AT gun. Zarok drops from the game. It's 3-0. HelpingHans through to another round.
And HelpingHans will be asking you now, did you expect anything different from him? The winner of the final of the ESL, the March monthly final, the last big tournament we had in the early part of 2016 before Warpaint. There he is with GG called in chat with his own emoticon from his subscribers. Big shout out to his fans there, of course, showing him at fine form in the GCS Round 2, making his way to the quarterfinal.
Well deserved, well deserved. I mean, it was a good display from Zarok. Hands just kind of hit all the weak spots. A couple of mistakes that we saw, though. Of course, no healing on those. Like no medical bunker was such a weird choice for a doctrine that seemingly was going to rely on those munitions for the G43s. Like you wonder what the kind of background to that was, because whatever that strategy was, we didn't get to see it fulfilled twice, which was a shame. But well deserved from Helping Hands. Of course, the next series that we've got coming up is going to be Korean Army versus Barton, the king of comebacks versus Korean Army, who I've never really cast much of before. So he's a bit of an open ticket, a bit of an open book in terms of strategy and style.
Let me give you Let me give you a lecture on Korean Army then, Dan. First of all, just watch this YouTube video. This one is from Romeo's Star-Crossed Kings tournament versus DevM, and it's a famous Korean Army moment from a couple of years ago. I think it'd be a really good highlight to really show him at his absolute prime.
Did you want me to show that now? Sorry.
Yeah, I just linked it to you in Steam.
Okay, bear with me 1 second.
I believe in you, Dan. You're a technical wizard. I'm sure you can make this happen.
Oh, it's easy for me to make it happen. Just
I know. Just you make it sound like I'm asking you to write something.
I'm doing all these other things at the moment on the stream, like changing the colors so people know what series we're on. And
sorry, okay.
There's a lot I do, you know.
I didn't know. I didn't think you did anything. I'm so sorry.
So undervalued. Right. Let's. It's a 20-second, 26-second clip. Okay. Let's.
Anti-infantry strafe pushes those infantry back into the base again. And a
This
dive
is the
bomb
best
just
segue,
got
Dan,
dropped
I must say.
in the base.
Oh, I see where this is
Here's
going.
coming,
I see where
although
this
the
is going.
pack-houser might be walking straight
Poor
into it.
DevM. Poor DevM. Okay, so we know that he's one of those. We know that he's one of those players. Basically, he's going to be the one prepared to put in those kind of strats that we used to see. We used to see things like that all the time. Do you remember how brutal things like close air was when you'd force your opponent with a strafe to just retreat back to base and then just bomb it with the Stuka? I mean, it's been like ages since we've really seen those kind of like really clever uses of the commanders. That you can still do those things. It's just a lot harder to pull off. A lot of people aren't comfortable hitting the levels of micro to, do you know what I mean? To like manage those commanders because it's obviously those abilities are like one-click wins, but to actually now get like fuel for those, you've got to defend your fuel point. You've got to sacrifice a couple of squads to defend it, gather up the resources. So it's a little bit harder to get to those, but all those kind of things are still there. And hey, if he's going to use that kind of thing against Barton, if he's prepared to use it against DevM, then hopefully that gives you a little bit of an idea of where this next series could go, which is going to be super awesome.
Korean Army, it was at one point deemed the tactical rival of DevM in terms of micro ability and in terms of just overall brute skill in the game. It was Korean Army was one of the ones people used to watch out for in the big tournaments. So this is a big hype match. If he's back to somewhat where he used to be, I know Barton's been practicing a lot, and Barton says he's currently 9 out of 10 in terms of the best he's ever been at the game, which is pretty scary, to be honest, because Barton is, of course, SNF 5 champion. So yeah, absolutely. Zarok says, well, I tried. Hope you got more out of it than you did Jesulin and Aimstrong. And to that I say, thank you, Zarok. You played well. GG, well played. And there you go. And we're now going to be waiting for the referees to line up our next series, which is, of course, Barton and Korean Army.
Yep, sounds like it's time for a raffle, I think. That would be a good one.
Oh, yes.
Good segue into the next series. So, guys, raffle actually already opened it, just in case anyone was raffling anyway. We're going to give away 2 Company of Heroes 2 commander codes. We're actually running out of the available commanders to use. Actually, people have started claiming all of these. Got a hell of a lot of heavy cavalry company left. Advanced Emplacement Regiment, but people were very, very hot on getting Overwatch and tactical support for OKW and USF respectively. So guys, raffles open. We've also got another giveaway to do today, which is of course for Ashes of the Singularity. We're giving away one of those each week. I will send you a message after the stream. Try and reply to me, and I'll if you can do it tonight, then I'll give it to you tomorrow. Otherwise, normally I just forget, and we have to wait a week for it. So, as long as you guys know that. See, Aimstrong's in chat. Hey, Aimstrong, wanting to win himself some commanders, so we can make some new strats. So, it's a good one to see. What do you want to do for this? Do you want to go straight into the next series?
Yeah, if it's available. It's all about getting it available. We have some excellent referees. We have that was Curry doing that previous game, and now we got GB the hooligan. Done some numbers. He's doing the next game. It's very exciting.
That, he's busy working away at the moment. We do have the battle planner up. We do have it preemptively ready to go. Currently it's showing Hooligan versus Barton, which
it will be. He doesn't have the ability to switch quite yet.
No.
But
no.
We are in a position to make some announcements now. We have lots of viewers, and they're all eagerly anticipating the next thing. So I can happily announce that Relic and Sega have given the Grand Championship Series project 1,000 Great British pounds. Not directly into the Kickstarter, no, because of course that is closed. They've given it in order to reward, in their words, reward the community through the Grand Championship Series with stuff like buying more T-shirts. So you might be able to pick one of these T-shirts, rewarding getting the emblem and faceplate made through Rita Rush, getting a map made. A 1v1 map is getting made by Monolithic Bacon, meant to be a very he's going to attempt to make like a really good competitive 1v1 map. He usually goes for aesthetic maps, so let's see how he does with that. And there's loads of other good things that it'll be spent on, so that's really cool. It's basically just freeing up GCS budget to get dedicated to tournaments and the live event, and Relic are paying for a lot of the community stuff, so big thanks to them. Quinn and Greg will be sending in like a comment from them, because they made this happen with thanks to Kyle. He organized it, but they gave it the go ahead. So it's really cool that they've done that. So that's a really cool and happy to make.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice of them to do, because they are still, even if they aren't necessarily doing huge focus on the game, they are still supporting it, which is nice. They're still actually prepared to support it and us. So, which is absolutely fantastic of them. I'm sure you guys are kind of happy to hear that they are still thinking of us over at Dawn of War HQ.
Oh, there we go. We've got Korean Park in the chat now with regards to the game. So he's awake, which is the first protocol, because he does live in South Korea. It is right now +9 GMT, so it's 4:45. I can't do it, Dan. So hard. Why is time so hard? I'm just going to put in Google time.
Just say it's late. Just say it's late. Bail.
No, it's fine. It's time.
Bail on maths.
South Korea. It is 1:45. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad, I guess. It could be worse. Could be worse. There we go.
All right, here we go. Well, we do have the coin toss ready to go. AE, I think it's time to
spin the coin.